Hi everyone, I'm Jessie from Sky Blue English. So do you find that you compare your English to other people's English? If you do, this is completely normal and we're going to talk about it in this video and what we can do about it. So there's actually something very positive that can come out of it. Okay, so some people compare themselves to native speakers, or others might compare themselves to non-native speakers, so others that are learning the language, or maybe it's a combination of both. I know that I've done it when I've learnt languages and sometimes still when I'm learning Italian. So we all do it, it's completely normal. I don't think we can avoid it, it's human nature, but we can change the way that we respond to it. Okay, so let's look at how we can do that. So my first tip is to become aware that you're making the comparison. So notice that you're doing it. When do you tend to compare yourself to people? Think about it and just be aware of the negative feeling. Where do you feel it in your body? Is it in your stomach? Is it in your chest? Just kind of next time it happens, just try and notice how you're feeling, and I'd recommend writing it down. Journaling is something that I'd heard about for a long time and I didn't do. I was kind of thinking, how do you actually journal? What do you do? But if you write down how you're feeling, and you can sometimes ask yourself a question like, why am I feeling like that? It can be really, really helpful. So I heard a quote, so comparison is the thief of joy, which I think is interesting. So it's the idea that when we compare ourselves, it doesn't make us feel good. So what we're doing is looking at somebody else and seeing what they have. It makes us feel powerless because we're focusing on the lack. We're focusing on what they have. So maybe somebody's amazing at making people laugh in English, or they're so fluent, or they know so many words, and we're seeing ourselves as below them. So this is a story that we're telling ourselves. It's just not true. So you can be where they are. There's no reason why you can't. You can achieve that. So what we can do is just focus on what they have that you want. So if that person is really fluent and you want that fluency, so think about having that fluency, and the comparison can actually help you. So what do you want? Think about that. So my second tip is not to compare yourself to native speakers. So native English speakers like me have been absolutely immersed in English for years and years, if not decades. And it's the same with you, with your mother tongue. So we've grown up with the language and had thousands and millions of interactions with family and friends, all our education in English, and then there's films and radio, television. So you just can't compare it. If you imagine being completely immersed in English for one day, or maybe you are, but if you think of how much progress you make with just one day, and then think of all the days a native English speaker has been listening and interacting in the language, you just can't compare the two. So my third tip is not to compare your English to other non-native speakers either. So you might meet other people speaking English that are from your country or from other countries like France or Germany or China, Russia, wherever it is. You might hear them speaking English and maybe you think, oh, they're so natural, I wish I could speak like that. But you're just seeing what's on the surface and you have no idea what they have gone through, maybe what they are going through. You just don't know. You don't know what their story is, you don't know what their struggles are. It's a bit like a performance and you don't know what's backstage. Maybe it can be really messy and the performer comes out on stage and is amazing. Maybe previously they had stage fright. So maybe previously they really struggled with grammar. Maybe they felt like giving up, or they never knew enough words. Perhaps they had one-to-one English classes or an English boyfriend or girlfriend. You just simply don't know. Everybody has their own story, their own experiences. And the other thing is that people have different personality types. So perhaps the person that you're comparing yourself to is an extrovert. Maybe they're really good at speaking. Perhaps their writing isn't so good. And maybe I'm making generalizations here, but I'm just saying that you don't know anything about them unless you find out more, okay? And that's what we're going to talk about next. My fourth tip is to be inspired by the person that you're comparing your English to. So change the negative feeling inside you and focus on what you want that person has. So I already talked about this, but just close your eyes. Maybe think of somebody that you've compared your English to before and close your eyes and just imagine having what they have. Imagine your English being at that level. So how would it feel? Just kind of let yourself imagine that and the really amazing feeling that it gives you. So I'm just looking at my notes. What was the next thing? So like if you see somebody making everybody laugh, believe that you can do that too. And maybe when you get home, write about maybe some funny stories about, I was going to say your last holiday, but no one's really had many holidays recently because of COVID. But maybe write down some funny anecdotes, practice with a teacher, a language exchange, or in front of the mirror. And I would really focus on learning from them. Or if you can't, maybe you might even be watching somebody online, but you can think about how you can get to their level and what they have done to get there. But if possible, if you can, speak to them and see them as a friend, not an enemy. My last tip is to be grateful. You're much more likely to succeed if you're in a state of gratitude. And think about everything that you've achieved with your English. Think about people you've met and experiences that you've had. I think it's easy sometimes to forget where we've come from and all the things that we can do now that we couldn't do in the past. And also try and be grateful to the person that has now inspired you. They have created that desire inside you and you can now see what's possible. So just remember that you can get there too and you can achieve whatever that person has. Okay.